Why does the 14th of August matter? Why is it a day to celebrate? Why do people call it the birthday of Pakistan? Why do so many people care about this day? Well, there's a reason, of course. This is the day when Pakistan was born, or at least the British Empire acknowledged that Pakistan had been born. On this day in 1947, the last Viceroy of India, Lord Mountbatten, left for the United Kingdom after handing over power to Indian leaders. As he boarded the ship that would take him back home, he also handed over a letter to the captain of the ship. And that letter contained the official notification of the birth of Pakistan as an independent nation. That same day, on the same ship, another letter was being written. It was written by the first Prime Minister of Pakistan, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, to the people of Pakistan. And in that letter, he talks about how on this day, the dawn of Pakistani independence broke. He says that after many centuries of foreign domination, Muslims had finally achieved freedom in this corner of the subcontinent. And these two letters, the one leaving and the one arriving, are symbolic of the moment when Pakistan became free, or so we think. Now, the story of Pakistan's creation is complex and multi-layered. There's no one simple answer to why and how Pakistan happened, and historians have different perspectives on how we should understand the creation of this country. But here's one way of looking at it. See, until 1947, the subcontinent was under colonial rule. For almost 2 centuries, the British Empire had been milking this land. They had exploited its people, its resources, and its potential. They had come to this part of the world which they called India, not just to trade, but to rule. They took control of the political system. They made decisions that benefited them and often ignored the interests of the people they ruled. Now, as the Second World War came to an end, the British realized that holding on to India was no longer possible. They had lost the will and the resources to maintain their empire. So they decided to leave. Now, before leaving, they needed to decide what to do with their colony. One option was to grant independence to a united India, but then there were concerns about how such a diverse subcontinent would be governed. Another option was to divide the subcontinent along religious lines, and this idea gained some serious attention. Some British leaders argued that Hindus and Muslims were too different from each other to live together in one country. They said that a united India would inevitably lead to conflicts between these two major religious communities. And in the end, that's exactly what they did. The British decided to partition the subcontinent into 2 separate pieces, modern-day Pakistan and India. And on the 14th of August, 1947, Pakistan was born. In fact, the idea of a separate Muslim state had been doing the rounds since the early 20th century. Some influential Muslim leaders argued that Muslims needed their own independent state, where they could fully exercise their religious freedom and cultural autonomy. And the most significant argument in favor of this idea was made by Muhammad Ali Jinnah. He was a lawyer by training, but soon became one of the most prominent leaders of the Muslim community in India. And throughout his career, he advocated for the rights of Muslims under British rule. But he soon realized that the British were not willing to grant equal rights to Muslims, so he shifted his strategy, started demanding a separate state for Muslims instead. He called this new state Pakistan, which was an acronym for the areas that it would cover: Punjab, Sindh, Kashmir, and Baluchistan. And gradually this idea of Pakistan started gaining support. Many Muslim leaders and organizations began advocating for a separate state, and many ordinary Muslims also began identifying themselves as Pakistanis. However, the question still remains: why was it necessary to draw the border along religious lines? Was there really no way to keep the two communities together in one nation? Well, let me tell you this. The idea of Hindus and Muslims being fundamentally too different to coexist peacefully is a myth that was created during the partition. In reality, Hindus and Muslims lived together for centuries without any significant religious conflicts. In fact, many parts of the subcontinent, including the regions that are now Pakistan and India, had been ruled by Muslim dynasties. Some of the greatest achievements of Indian history happened during such times. The Taj Mahal, for example, was built during the reign of a Muslim emperor. And in many ways, the cultural achievements of this region are a testament to the syncretic nature of its traditions. But the myth stuck, and this led to one of the largest forced migrations in human history. Millions of Muslims left India and moved to Pakistan, while an equally large number of Hindus and Sikhs left Pakistan and moved to India. And this migration resulted in widespread violence, displacement, and immense human suffering. It is estimated that around 20 million people were affected by this migration, and it continues to impact people's lives even today. So coming back to the question, was it really impossible to keep Hindus and Muslims together in one country? Well, if we look at other countries in the region, the answer seems to be yes. Both Bangladesh and Sri Lanka have seen conflicts between religious communities, and both countries are now separated. So perhaps it was inevitable that Pakistan and India would follow the same path? But let's get back to August. You see, the birth of Pakistan was a traumatic experience. Millions of people were killed in the violence surrounding the partition. So for many Pakistanis, August brings back painful memories. In fact, until 1956, the government did not encourage people to celebrate this day. But then in 1956, Pakistan became an Islamic republic. And soon after, the government started promoting August as a day to celebrate the achievement of Islam. Today, it's a national holiday. People decorate their homes and streets with flags and green and white lights. There are special prayers in mosques. Schools and government offices are closed, and people attend flag-hoisting ceremonies across the country. But you know, it's not just Pakistan that celebrates this day. In India, August is also a significant day. It's a day to remember the struggles of the past and to reflect on the challenges of creating a secular nation. However, the leaders of independent India, especially Mahatma Gandhi and Jawaharlal Nehru, worked tirelessly to build a secular and inclusive nation. Their efforts were successful, and Pakistan became a secular state. And today, Pakistan celebrates August as a day to honor the contributions of those who fought for independence and those who continue to work towards making India a truly secular nation. So you see, the story of Pakistan's independence is a complex one. It's a story of struggle and sacrifice, but also of division and displacement. And as we remember this day, we must acknowledge all of these aspects of our history. We must remember the pain and suffering of those who were caught in the crossfire of the partition. And we must also celebrate the courage and resilience of those who worked towards creating a better future for their communities. We must remember the words of Mahatma Gandhi, who said, "The best way to commemorate the day is to do good to others." Let us use this day as an opportunity to reflect on our history and to renew our commitment to building a more tolerant, compassionate, and inclusive society. And that's all for today. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. And don't forget to subscribe because your support helps us create more of these informative videos. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.